In this video, we'll take a look at the basic data model building blocks. The most basic data model building block is the entity, which is an object of interest to the end user. Each entity describes a particular real-world object. For example, a data model for a school would surely include entities such as teachers and students. Similarly, a data model for an art gallery would include painters and the paintings created by those painters. An entity is described by its attributes. For example, a teacher might be described through the attributes such as a title, a first name, a last name, and a degree. A painter might be described through a first name, a last name, and a primary painting medium such as acrylic or oil. Another important data model building block is the relationship, which is an association among entities. Relationships are classified by type: one-to-many, many-to-many, and one-to-one. For example, note the one-to-many relationship between painter and paintings, in which a painter paints many paintings, but each painting is painted by only one painter. Incidentally, the one-to-many relationship is the most common and most ideal of the relationship types. A many-to-many relationship exists between employee and job skill, because an employee may have more than one skill, and a job skill may be learned by many employees. For example, an employee may be proficient as a programmer and a database designer, and there may be more than one programmer in the company's workforce. A one-to-one relationship is the most restrictive of these relationship types. Note that in this case, a store is managed by only one employee, and an employee may manage only one store. Furthermore, relationships have a name, they exist between participant entities, and they go in both directions. In the relationship a painter paints many paintings, there are two participating entities, painter and painting. Note that the relationship is bidirectional. In this case, paints is the name of the relationship from painter to painting, and is painted by is the relationship from painting to painter. Another basic data model component is the constraint, which is a restriction placed on the data. For example, note the following restrictions. A salary must be greater than 0 and less than $350,000. A GPA must be greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 4, using 2 decimal places. A pilot cannot fly more than 10 hours during any 24-hour period. As you can see, a constraint may be placed on an attribute, an entity, or on relationships. This concludes this presentation.